Just waiting for it to load right now, making sure that it's streaming. Looks like it's live. Hello, friends, family, and the void that are my problems. I'm going to try and do some more Linux. I'm currently at a this one. I'm currently at a Starbucks. I have yet to be able to find a decent, more permanent location that will allow me to do more VPN scanning. I've been asking around at a bunch of places. Most places are like, "Oh yeah." Uh, apparently, uh, IKEA, the IKEA cafe, because we have an IKEA, and right next to it there's a big food court plaza. Apparently, the food court plaza has expressed that they have a public Wi-Fi where you can just whatever. They said that they prefer that I don't do Linux type stuff on it, but made a point to express to me that it is an open cafe. Of course, right as soon as I start working. There you go. I'm unmuted now. I missed the call. Unfortunately, I am double checking what they said. Make sure it's not important. Nope. Somebody's gonna take my card stuff. Oh, well, like 95% of the time when somebody's card is stuck in my business, give it a little bit more time. It'll be fine. No. So, job. All right. So back to what I was doing. So yeah, the location here, they might have public Wi-Fi, Starbucks. So I'm gonna do a little bit of enumeration that I like to use. Oh, cool. Somehow I don't have SendMap on here. Go. So of course, right off the bat, we messed up a little bit, but it's okay. Another one. There you go. Big one is here. And do that here. I do not want an intense scan. I want a standard scan. And Paul. We can catch his bugs. Right. I did miss a first ball there, so I'm gonna try and but not. All right. So trace route did not work. Okay. And try it again. Failed. Resolve trace route. And let's make sure we have internet. Okay. So we do have internet. This is connected to the internet, which means it is odd. This is not working. Okay. Don't want to snake. Just a standard thing. So 4 bytes in, 4 bytes out. Put a command for stop. I don't know the command. Regardless, though, it looks like we're getting all back. So for some reason, a ping scan is not working. Quick scan. Try that. Not doing trace route. My spelling? Okay, so that is working. Okay, so I think it's a router thing. There's something that is masking the route. That's why it's failing, probably. Okay, so what? There are other ways to enumerate here. Yeah, I'm gonna try that. Go ahead. That's fine. Okay, so let's see if we can do some kind of spider. I could also get Wireshark. See if Wireshark can help us at all. Hmm, that's interesting. Cool. For sure. There we have it. Go away. Okay, so this is the virtual Ethernet. Back to sheet monitor. Cisco remote capture is probably what I'm going through. SSH is the Wi-Fi. Okay, so I cannot because of this. Well, I can definitely see there's activity here. It's probably just going to detect my own activity. It's fine. Okay, so I want this command. Hmm. Not very helpful. So let's do. I don't want to do intense. Ah, I didn't have those. That builds topography that did not go to Boolean. That gave me a direct pathway. I regular scan. Did not produce anything. It gave me some extra info, but not really functional. I see two open ports. The domain port, which is google.com, and an HTTPS. And well, basically the same thing. Which is fine. And that's that you can see that here. And let's do more local scan. Okay. Let's try IPv6. How do I switch this to ZenMap and Nmap are I'm not using. ZenMap and Nmap are the same thing, just ZenMap has a graphical interface. So Let's try this. Third one of these. Okay, so I have to copy it over manually again. Okay, I have it. Good, good, good. I just typoed something that. Okay, I'm going to slow comprehensive that because I'm pretty sure that's me. See what I'm connecting through. Okay, so I have a couple of points mapped out now. This is still Google right here. Technically, this is my entry point. There's supposed to be a way to run this specifically. Five. That brings it up. Use, yeah. This is my local. I have my local painter down. Okay. I'm on Linux. Yeah, it does. What are you talking about? Okay. Okay. Info. That looks like a MAC address. That's a subnet. Yeah, I've got something interesting I choose. Or no. And I got more info. Built my topography up a little bit more. I've already done this one, but I didn't do a 64. See if I could try. Right. Take a little bit more time. That's interesting. But I did not build up my topography anymore. DNS server. Two of them. Kind of interesting. So, the significance of having the DNS server is that with the DNS servers, you could try to go in and set up listener ports there, determine what the DNS servers are running through, and that would then allow you to scan activity because DNS is where everybody does their internet querying from. So having those server ports or server addresses would allow you to detect everything everybody here is doing their internet through. I'm not going to do that, but that's one thing that you can do with those. Once I get a place that gives me permission to use their Wi-Fi signal for these types of reasons, I'll then try to do more DNS query scanning. We also have a couple of devices we can look through. And this is Spider. You're enumerating for information. You're going out, you're looking for everything that is in your immediate vicinity, figuring out what the like I just discovered here, figuring out the DNS port address, figuring out the local internet, figuring out which systems are running. When I can get Wireshark going, maybe it's just the security for here, but if I can get Wireshark running more perfectly, like there's actually detected activity in these two, it would, there it is. So you see, I could actually watch the internet activity from this device to the router. And I could expand that a little bit further to then detect what's going on with the router. There's probably some security with this particular place's router. If I put in some effort, I could probably put myself into the router, but I'm not going to this time. But Wireshark specifically is packet tracing. Packet tracing then would allow you to then watch what different packets and data is doing. I know that when I was in a VPN for a cybersecurity company at one point, I was able to watch broadcasting. Actually, yeah, no, there's some varying activity. Something else was doing activity between me and the router, and there's things like that. Like when I was on the VPN, I could detect when there was devices doing broadcasting checks. Like they were staying alive checks to tell another system, hey, this line is still active, do not close it yet. That sort of thing is good to know for like hash spoofing or like just taking over other people's identity. Like I can stop the scan right now, and it would allow me to that. I see varying activity. If I stop the scan, I can see what those are. So right here, these addresses, we know that that is the host address. So I could go here and I see that there's data in here that I can check out, see what it's doing. It's on the TCP port address. This is a secure port, secure destination. This packet is going through secure transport layer security, which is basically circuitry that is secure on the physical layer. And in order to appropriately bypass that, you would likely need to get access to the physical device itself. TCP is a way that data is transferred. It's more secure. UDP is like it's just throwing data indiscriminately. TCP is more controlled. Something transport control protocol, probably. Sure, that's the best. Been a minute. UDP. Your datagram, TCP. Transmission control, so I was close. It's not transport, it's transmission. Same concept. Same concept. But actually, I expanded out a layer, so I've gotten a little bit more here now that I can probably enumerate through. But with this, I could see which IP addresses are actually active because I see that there's three here, and I now know that 10.2.10.0.2.15 is one of the actually active IP addresses where most of the data transmissions are going through. I don't really see, I don't see three, and I don't see two. So those are probably more broadcast or some kind of security IP addresses or something. There's obviously something else, whereas most of the actual activity is the secure channel of 10.0.2.2. And it looks like I have access to the router point. And from the router points, it goes out to this IP address. It could be somebody's device. It looks like, and then communicating back and forth. That is probably another endpoint device that is talking to my device. And but that would probably be the router's actual IP address, and I can go into there and probably listen into more data there for additional enumeration. Even at TCP, still get in there and detect what are the devices next to it. A good thing to use Google for. Google is oftentimes used as because it is a known point in the internet space. Google would be for you to determine where you're at. You do a trace route from you to Google, and I demonstrated that in another location. I might have deleted that video. I'll have to try and do another. No, I definitely did it in my Kali Linux open out of the box video. But you use that as a known point to trace yourself to it in order to identify where you are at in the interweb space most often. Because then your system has to go through the OSI layers out and back down to Google. So that lets you see where your what public Wi-Fi, what public IP address you're running through. It lets you see the local router, the ISP, which is usually that's where the public IP is at. And then it lets you see more what the local router IP is connected to, usually eventually leading out to more obscure space in the interwebs until it comes back down to what Google is connected to. Google uses a public IP address. They own that IP address. So that is always there. That is always static. It's never going to change. A lot of businesses actually do their DNS queries through Google on that because it is always there. It is a static point in the internet that will allow you to determine most everything you need to know about a network whenever you're able to appropriately connect it. Like you can see in the one I'm in, because of the TLS security, likely that when I try to do a trace route, most of the information made to Google is obscure. However, of course, there are other ways to trace it, like I showed with our chart, where you see that I get this additional information. Yeah, some basic enumeration. Pretty simple. As you become more familiar with these techniques and methods, it becomes easier to recall using them. It's been a while since I've done all that stuff. Thank you. Okay.